Breaking news, President Joe Biden is poised to nominate a right-wing, anti-abortion federal judge who will have a lifetime appointment. And Biden has done this, or is poised to do it. It hasn't happened yet, but he's poised to do it in what has been described as a deal with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Now, keep in mind, this is a deal that Biden is making with the other side, with the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, even though Democrats hold a majority in Congress, a simple majority in the Senate and a meteor majority in the House. Now, the Senate is what matters here because we're talking about appointments, we're talking about nominees who need to be confirmed, and here's what happened. So the nomination of Chad Meredith, that's the potential federal judge here, appears to be the result of a deal with US Senator Mitch McConnell, ostensibly in exchange, get a load of this, for the Senate Minority Leader agreeing not to hold up future federal nominations by the Biden White House. What? First of all, that the deal is garbage. Like, I would not take that deal. I would not even entertain that deal. But putting that aside for a second, even if that's really what you want, Biden, if you really desperately just want Mitch McConnell to stop holding up these confirmations, do you actually take him at his word, you moron? You're going to allow for a lifetime appointment of a federal judge who is against reproductive rights, who has made a career out of it. I can't F the Democrats, F Biden. I do not support him. I will not vote for him. I will not tell a single soul to vote for him. He is not our friend, just not. And I don't want to hear from a damn centrist about how dangerous the Republican Party is. I'm just not interested, because even when Democrats are in charge, they let the Republican Party take over. They just do. I mean, Jessica, I'm so enraged right now, I can't even think straight.
This is Biden again, folding to the Republicans. If you think about what a deal should be, that means someone on both sides gets something. You only need a simple majority in the Senate for a federal nomination to be confirmed. So if we have Manchin and we have Sinema and we have Kamala Harris with the tiebreaker, we don't even need to broker a deal with Mitch McConnell to have this happen. Think about what this federal judge who's appointed to serve for life will do now. The one safeguard we've had to protect women at a time when our reproductive rights are under attack and women will die if they do not have safe and legal access to abortion. We've seen some judges in some states pass injunctions so that these trigger laws don't go into effect. Now we have a federal judge in a post-Roe America that was allowed to be appointed and is appointed by a Democratic president. This is insane. People are already upset with the Democrats for not doing anything. Now, it's not that they're not doing anything, they're taking active measures to make this worse.
I would advise the Democratic Party to allow for Joe Biden to give up after his first term is over and to find someone else, okay? Someone else to run for the Democratic Party, because I, under no circumstance at this point, will support Biden. I don't trust Biden. I don't like Biden. I think that he is a feckless, disgusting, corrupt tool for corporate America, and honestly, at this point, for the right-wing zealot, religious zealots in this country. That's what he's doing. It's a lifetime appointment. In exchange for what? Mitch McConnell allowing for, the confirmation hearings for your nominees? Who cares? Who cares? First of all, who cares about that? Don't you have a majority in the Senate? Why do you need the Republican Party to play ball with you on this? And why do you even need them to be confirmed? I mean, how many people served in Trump's administration who had never been confirmed? Never been acting this, acting that, acting, AG. It was acting everywhere.
For a long time.
What is he doing? No, but this is who he is, guys. This is who he is. The Republicans, yes, they're awful. They're awful. And I understand the mindset of Democratic voters in 2020 who got scared when they saw a candidate like Bernie Sanders, because in their minds, and based on what they were told incessantly in the corporate media, well, if we nominate the more popular candidate who actually wants to implement the changes that would make our lives better, there's a chance that he might lose against Donald Trump. So instead, let's promote and support this honestly half asleep, half Republican goon who really has nothing to offer us. Biden's whole campaign was, I was in the Senate once and I know how to talk to people. Oh, great. You are a failure. He has failed us on pretty much everything. Unbelievable. The only good thing I've seen come out of the Biden administration that's substantive is his National Labor Relations Board, which is significantly better than what we got under Trump. But outside of that, Biden is a disaster. How would you ever take Mitch McConnell at his word for anything? And what you would even get from this side of the deal if he actually carried it out, if he was actually a man of his word, it doesn't even really matter that much. I just don't get it, man. This party is embarrassing. I can't support them. I don't support them. I can't. I don't know what to tell you. I think that the Democrats would make a huge mistake by letting him run for a second term. They should tell him to go back to bed and let a progressive run. I don't even care who at this point. Just get him out. I hate this man with every fiber of my being at this point.
A lot of people have said that, Joe Biden has changed a lot since he was younger and he was a senator. When he would say things like, I don't believe a woman has the sole right to decide what happens in her body. They say his political views have changed since he's been in that era and he said those things. This pretty much proves that perhaps that's not true. Perhaps he still believes those things. And for a long time, we've said, the administration isn't really doing much. It's a sign of weakness. I honestly don't think it's weakness at this point. I think it's intentional. I think they're very intentionally contributing to our country devolving, to be entirely honest. They are protecting the neoliberal order. And let's be very real, that the Democratic establishment handpicked Joe Biden as the nominee. The American people did not pick Joe Biden as the nominee. Obama and other people in the Democratic establishment called up all of the candidates who were running. There were a lot of options for people to pick from when deciding who they wanted to be their party's candidate for president. And Bernie Sanders was the front runner. And they wanted to stop Bernie Sanders. They wanted to stop the progressive agenda. And so everyone dropped out and endorsed Joe Biden in exchange for political favors, in exchange for cabinet positions. That's not how a democracy should run. And because primaries are party business, there are not election laws that can protect things like this from happening so long as we are supporting the Democratic Party and partaking in Democratic Party primaries. And it's disgusting. We need competitive primaries for a democracy. We didn't elect Joe Biden. Let's be very real. The Democratic Party handpicked him as their candidate. And look what he is doing now, making things far worse. Bernie Sanders was fighting for protecting women's reproductive freedoms.
And let's also not forget that after the draft opinion that would reverse Roe was leaked, the first thing that we heard from Clyburn, Jim Clyburn, who's the House Majority Whip, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, was that they'd be endorsing anti-reproductive rights goon Henry Cuellar in Texas. So you're right. They are no longer an obstacle to the Republican Party. They're no longer an obstacle to the destruction of our liberty that the Republican Party is fighting so aggressively for. They aid and abet. They love it. How are they gonna fearmonger about the right wing when they aid and abet them and what they have on their agenda? No, it's beyond shameful. I do not support Joe Biden. I will not vote for him under any circumstance. Sorry, this is it. This is the nail in the coffin for me. He shouldn't run in 2024. It would be the biggest mistake for the Democratic Party to run with Joe Biden on the Democratic ticket. Don't do it. I ain't gonna support it. I'm not gonna vote shame either. But if you're a centrist watching the show and you're rolling your eyes at what I'm saying, stop watching. You're part of the problem too. Sit down.